Today, I have Steve Robinson from the Illinois Orchid Society, and we are going to split this community pot. So Steve and I went in together, and we put in an order to H&R, and I did an unboxing for that. But unfortunately, most of the things that we wanted, that Steve wanted, was not available. So the only thing that came was this Brassivola yellowbird. Because I guess we wanted little stars, but the little stars didn't come. So the yellowbird, and today we're gonna split it. We're going halvesies on it.
Yep.
All right. So let's. The way I do this is take the tag out, and then usually they have peanuts down at the bottom.
Yep, I can see them.
Squeeze them.
The roots coming out, so it's growing well.
And it's going to be in Pro Mix because that's what H&R puts all their stuff in.
And what is Pro Mix?
It is sphagnum peat moss and perlite, and they claim that there is some kind of mycorrhizal or whatever fungi. I can't say that word, but
I'm gonna take a picture of this so that I've got it when I make my tags.
so I brought a I have a whole bunch of. You're welcome. I buy them by the gross. I buy everything by the gross. That's why I have a basement.
Where do you get those from?
There's a place called Charlie's Greenhouse. You can also just get them off Amazon. Obviously,
I've gotten a bunch from Amazon,
but Charlie's Greenhouse sells these. They're in packs of 1,000, and they have a rainbow one. So you get 1,000 of them in like 9 different colors. You get 200 of the white ones, but then there's a whole bunch, and so like there's like blue, and they like this set was like a thicker plastic.
Yeah, that was pretty.
But then they also had at one point like these thinner ones like this, and I've kind of just going through the colors. So here we go. Look, peanuts. Pitch the peanuts.
Good roots.
Yeah, so the roots look really good, but whenever you take the stuff out of community pot, even though so you can see it's a huge amount of perlite in this, it's traumatic. Not everything is going to make it. So the way I like to do this is I loosen it, and then I just see this one's pretty thick. Sometimes they're a little bit more like the roots aren't as good, and so then when you go like this, the whole thing just collapses in your hand.
Yep.
All right, so what I usually do is when it stops coming, and I don't want to break all the little pieces. Here we go. So I just wiggle it until they loosen, and of course we end up with small sacrificial ones that don't make it.
Yep.
And then once they're kind of loose, I spray them with the hose to just get all the
that'll help loosen out the rest of them.
The Pro Mix off. You can buy Pro Mix as well, just like already made Pro Mix. I have a bag of it in the basement that I just use as regular potting media, and I got it from Menards for $14, and I could have gotten it. They had it. There was how Menards has coupons. They also had a $2 coupon for it, so it could have been 12, and it's like what 50
big,
like
big bag.
Like I don't know, like 10 cubic. Well, not 10 cubic feet. What would be like the huge, like 40 cubic feet bag for
40 liter.
Yeah, like a huge, like a huge bag that I had to ask for help to get down into the basement because it's so yeah. So at this point I stop picking on them.
And then you hose it.
And I hose it. And this is why I like to do this
Outside,
because then I don't worry about cleaning this up. So in the winter, when I do this, I basically dunk them in and out of a bucket, and then So you know, most of the pro mix is off now on that clump. And
Come
then,
apart a little bit easier.
yeah, so do you want to divide that one and I'll hose the rest of them? And this is just so we don't end up with like pro mix all over the table.
Yes. All different sizes.
And yeah, so the goal here is we'll loosen them all up and then we'll lay them all out and then we'll pick. So we can either pick together, right? Or we can pick alternating. We can dice for who gets first pick. And we can lay them out on the table if you want. I just didn't want to get pro mix everywhere because it's a pain in the butt to, you know, just be me dusting it off the. And then I have municipal compost for Oak Park, and so I just take all this stuff and I just dump it in my compost. It all just goes away, and you know. Start laying them out. And I think that's like I don't know how to say it, but like the fairest, right? Like then,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like you get the little guys or I get the little guys, right? We just alternatively pick. And once we picked, you can soak. You're gonna put yours in kelp max and tree fern.
Yep.
And then
Yes.
I'm gonna put my bigger ones in 2-inch pots because but I have one mount. I am pondering saving the biggest one. I have Yellowbird, but I'd like, so Yellowbird's been awarded by the American Orchid Society, but like mine, the flowers aren't very big, right? So I'm
Try a
hoping to
different
get
one?
one. Yeah, so I mean, I may not sell my extras off of this until I've flowered all of them to see, you know, the biggest. But usually, like, the biggest plantlets will have, you know, right? So,
Yeah, they're already thriving.
yeah.
Yeah, some of these are really good size.
Yeah, no. But, I mean, you know, I would feel like this one, something like this, is probably a year or two from blooming. You know, it needs to probably, I want to say this leaf probably needs to be about twice the length to be blooming size, but it might bloom before then.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I've thought about buying Yellowbird for a while, and it just never kind of pulled the trigger. So this was good.
Well, you'll have a whole
Good
bunch to try them
opportunity.
out on. Just get rid of this. You know, I don't know why I like have that little comes in all over.
So I got a bunch of grief.
I mean, I literally turned my ankle on it. There was like 400 or 500 of them.
I think we've got 32 or 33.
Well, you know,
Something like
Richard
that.
Mendoza's really good in terms of,
Sure.
I don't know, vigor. And Richard Mueller, for whatever reason, is also really good in terms of vigor. So a lot of the stuff that I've gotten from them from Richard Mueller has been really good. Though I bought a Schomburgkia brisiana crossed to Richard Mueller. I bought 2 community pots. It was like this, but they were kind of small. And I was like, I'll like wait them through the winter. And sometime in like March, I looked at the community plot and both of them were black. And I was like, oh my God. So I lost one completely, like everything. I don't know how.
I've been looking for community pots ever since we
Wait.
ordered this one. Yeah.
He hasn't put up a new list at all. I don't know.
I've just been looking all over the place. Nothing, but not that many people.
Do community pots.
Yeah, a lot of flasks.
A lot of flasks. Well, the thing is, usually it used to be is that they would come out of flask, and then people would take the smaller ones right, and put them into community pots. And then they would take, I mean, usually nothing this big comes out of flask. And then you grow them in community pot 6 months to a year, and then you put them into individual flats like I have right there, which is the plug trays. But I'm noticing a lot of people are just immediately taking stuff from flasks now and putting them right into plug trays. I guess they can keep them moister. It wasn't like that was considered not moist enough.
Yeah, you know what? I've taken some flasks and just put them straight into these pots with tree fern, because I'm hoping to sell them,
right?
And I'm hoping to not repot them that often. And the tree fern supposedly lasts quite a while.
I don't
at least
like,
according to the AOS.
I don't like tree fern because when it's wet, it compacts too much, and I feel like the roots don't breathe enough. Like with the sphagnum peat moss and the pro mix, right? It's the perlite that keeps everything really fluffy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I did straight tree fern. I don't think I would ever do, but I would probably mix it with perlite. And if you want to try that, I have like a 4-liter bag of perlite in the basement.
No, I gotta stick with what I know. I mean, I know this would work well for the paths that I've got in it. And
yeah, but paths are more terrestrial. They like being wetter, right?
Yeah.
So, but you know, seedlings like this will do actually just fine in pure sphagnum moss for a few years as well too. And then what I usually do is they grow out of pots, and so I like I take them out. But all right, picking. You can pick first because you don't have Yellowbird yet, and I haven't. I'm just going for an awardable copy.
Okay, so well, normally I would pick this guy, but I'm actually going to leave him for you since you're going for awardable.
Okay. I mean, you should pick, you know, like there's a lot, and I've had ones, so I did Claudia Cotarella, which is Richard Mueller crossed to Yellowbird, and I did like a whole community pot, and, you know, the biggest ones didn't produce the biggest flowers. No. Like, I gave away a whole bunch of them, I sold a few, but, you know, I still have like 8 of them, and I think one of the like it's not, you know, like what I usually do is I put the tag from H&R in like what I think is the best one, and that's not the one that had the biggest flowers.
You know what I'm going to be interested to see is this will be for me where I can compare different growing styles. That's going to be interesting for me. Well,
take it if you want it.
Then I got to take this one.
Okay, I'm going to take this one because it has the biggest single leaf. So you want to soak yours, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna soak mine.
Alright, so I am gonna, let's see, we are gonna, do I want to mount one of these? The ones that take after the yellow bird parent, I like to mount.
And I don't know if the kelp pack does anything or not, but it certainly can't hurt. I don't know if that one's gonna make it or not.
I'm just trying to decide what I want to. So I buy these 2-inch pots by the gross. I might need more.
Yeah, I got these from Amazon.
I use this place. I used it before, like, I don't know. They've got bigger. They're like in Tennessee, and I buy like a gross is like $2.40 or something like that. I just buy them in these like big. Nowadays they'll sell you like 10, but so I just have these boxes and boxes of trays, and like it's expensive at a one haul, but like I've been like the trays go, like the pots go, right? But you know I bought a gross of these 2-inch pots, and then you know 8 years later I'm still using the same gross of these 2-inch pots. Just a question of, do I want to mount those right there?
So you want one of the smaller ones?
No.
One of them. Okay.
The two. There's
two
two
big
that I
ones.
think are like sort of equivalent in size. I mean, this one is just, if I'm gonna keep it, then I'll probably mount, or I can put it in semi-hydro. And it's summer, which means it'll probably take versus not take, which is what happens to me in the winter when I read. It's like cold in my grow space. My grow space gets down to like 50 degrees at night in the winter.
That's pretty cold.
It's very chilly. And 2 hours later, we were done.